What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and today we are yet again looking at an incredible list coming straight from our friends at TCG Player. And in all honesty, I used to do content around this about a year ago, and for whatever reason, I got away from it. And I have no idea why, because when you think about the reason they're sending this list off, like this checks every single box as a collector, as an investor. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter why you're in the hobby, like this list is incredibly relevant as to what's going on in the hobby right now, because as you can see, this is them sending a list out. This is primarily intended to go to sellers on TCG Player, but what this is them saying, hey, listen, these are a list of cards or products that are in high demand and low supply on our website. And this is them saying, hey, listen, we have no guarantees, but we have a strong feeling that if you list these products, they will sell with a high degree of velocity. And when you think about collecting and investing, like what are the most important things in the Pokemon space, it all comes down to supply and demand. So again, TCG Player is telling you right now, demand is high, supply is low. So if you want to list these cards, it could be an easy way to make a quick buck. Now, for me, as I said, I used to do content on this a while ago. I would graph how cards would move over time, and for the most part, and there's no guarantees, but for the most part, when you see this type of supply and demand equilibrium off base, it means the cards have a bright future ahead of them. Again, there's no way to predict the future, and obviously not all the cards or sealed product on this list will perform well, but it was a very strong indicator in the past, and so I thought, why not? Now that we're getting to a point where hopefully, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but I really hope that the Pokemon Company International, starts to provide us with more product to get some of this supply and demand equilibrium back in balance. In the back of my mind, I'm just this overly optimistic person. So I'm really hoping that that's what we're going to see over the next 3, 6, 8 months or something like that. And when that happens, then videos like this and content like this will become even more relevant. But even though we're still, way short on supply versus demand, this still gives you a great idea of what's going on in the hobby. So we're going to look at all of the cards here in just a minute, and then I'm going to particularly dig into a couple singles and a couple sealed products that I think are really awesome. And the fun thing about this list too is there's all kinds of different price points. We got cards under $15. We have 2 cards under $5 on this list. So again, super fun information, really, really relevant, coming from our friends at TCG Player, which is one of the biggest buying and selling marketplaces for Pokemon cards. So before I get into the list, listen, as I always say, I gotta give my selfish plug. We do a ton of fun stuff like this on the channel. We always try and do it with a ton of data driven behind it. So if you have fun, hit that subscribe button, or if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Those 2 small things go a long way in helping my small channel out, and I really appreciate it. So before we get into the individual stuff, let's start looking at the whole list. So what TCG Player does is they send out a massive Excel sheet with all kinds of information on it. And then I go ahead and I filter out some of the stuff that I don't feel is relevant to us on this channel, or to be honest with you, I just don't feel like talking about. So I make sure every single thing that's listed right here is in near mint or better condition and is sealed. Those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm looking for near mint products and I'm looking sealed products. And you can see, obviously there is a lot of prismatic evolutions on here. As we all know, prismatic evolutions, supply and demand is way out of whack right now, but there's also some other really cool products on here. And you even see, the thing that I love about this is it goes beyond booster boxes. It goes beyond singles cards. Like you can see there's a booster bundle display, which is listed on here. You can see that there's Stellar Crown sleeve booster master carton on here. So again, this is a really all-encompassing kind of like macro level view of what's in high demand and low supply on TCG Player right now. So with that out of the way, let's start looking at some of these individual cards. And what a freaking fantastic card to kick this video series back off with. Now, I am not huge into the Japanese side of things. Matter of fact, I think that's a gross overstatement. I don't collect Japanese cards really at all. So when I saw this card on the list and I went ahead and looked it up, I fell in love with it. I understand why everybody loves Japanese cards. The artwork's amazing. The print quality's through the roof. Lots to love. But obviously, with Journey Together coming out, we have Lily's Clefairy, which is going to be the chase card from that set. And guess what? Look at this promo back from the Sun and Moon series over in the Japanese space. What an absolute stunner of a card. Now, we all know that Lily played a prominent role in Sun and Moon. We all know the Japanese sets are named differently than the English sets, so this came from the Dream League set over in the Japanese space, and this is actually a promo card as well. So really, really stud card. And again, I couldn't use a TCG Player price graph because TCG Player hasn't had Japanese cards listed for that long. So I went ahead on Pokedata.io and I used this price graph right here, and you'll see the orange line represents PSA 10 price over the last year, and the blue line represents the raw card price over the last year. here. And if you'll see, I mean, the prices are starting to work their way back up, but they are still down. These are still at one-year lows over the last, 12 months. So it's incredible to see this kind of artwork on this card, which is absolutely stunning. And, the PSA 10 is obviously starting to pop back up, but this could be an early indication that this card is going to go on a bit of a run. Wait till Journey Together is fully released. I just think this card has a very bright future in the Japanese space. So if you love Japanese cards, or if you love trainer cards, or if you're a big believer in this combo right here, this card could do very, very well. Now, I will say this. On TCG Player, at the time of this video shoot, guess what? There are 0 listed on TCG Player. So if you happen to have one in the old Poke Closet and you're not in love with the card, you want to make a quick bucks, I guarantee that if you're the first one to list it on there, almost no matter what you listed at, it will sell really, really quickly, but a really cool card to kick off this video with. Now, the next one is a card that I've just not shied away from this at all. I love this card, right? This is the Eevee promo card. This is stamped Pokemon Day 2025. Now, the Pokemon Day stamped cards, I think, are not going to be as hard to get as they were in the past. In the past, you had to go to GameStop and you had to spend $15 on Pokemon product in order to get them. And this year, this card was launched in the 2-pack blisters. And I said that 2-pack blister is one of my absolute favorite products from the Prismatic Evolution line. But we'll take that out because, spoiler alert, that's going to be on here later on in the video. But this card in and of itself, with the Cosmo Holo that you got going on right there, you got the stamp on the front, you got Eevee coming from Prismatic Evolutions, and it's below $5. All of that combined makes me absolutely fall in love with this card. And you know what else this card reminds me of? I don't know if you remember, there was a 3-pack blister back in the Evolving Skies series that had Umbreon in it. And that Umbreon card in there was almost impossible to get in a PSA 10 gem mint. So the PSA 10s were going for like $250, $280. And then the card itself back then was going for like $3, $4, $5 each. Now I think that card's at $8, $9, $10. So this one coming in at $4 kind of tracks with that, but I do think this card's got a very bright future ahead of it. And again, it's under $5. It's Eevee. It's from Prismatic Evolutions. Not much you cannot like about this card. So, of course, as I said, you'll see the sealed product, and that's what we're talking about next. Even before Prismatic Evolutions has hit this fever pitch, when we were talking about the different products in this era and in this set, you know that this 2-pack blister was one of my favorites. So when you go back and you look over the course of time, you can look at XY era, you can look at Sun and Moon era, you can even look at some of the Sword and Shield, even though it's still relatively new in comparison. 3-pack blisters have a tendency to do really, really well over time. They are easy to hold. They don't take up a lot of space. If you look at the percentage return over time, it goes toe-to-toe with just about any sealed product. So when we knew that we were going to have not a 2-pack blister, but a 2-pack blister with that Eevee promo card we just talked about, with the Pokemon Day 2025 stamp on it, coming from Prismatic Evolutions, I mean, it is incredible. I think this product has a very, very bright future. And you can see, obviously, it's in high demand and low supply on TCG Player's website, as this is a 2-pack blister case going for $571 right here. So super cool product. Again, I'm not saying you got to go out and buy a case. I think individual ones are still going to be really, really good, but this is the particular product which is in high demand and low supply on the TCG Player website. So next one we're talking about right here are booster boxes. And it was interesting to me that the 2 booster boxes that were mentioned were not the big names. It wasn't Twilight Masquerade, it wasn't Surging Sparks, it wasn't Paldea Evolved. We had Stellar Crown, which is all the way up over $200. Now what's interesting is, whenever you look at a TCG Player graph like this, the bright blue line represents how price moves over time, and then those light blue bar graphs, which go vertically, those represent sales volume. And you can see a person or group of people about 3 or 4 weeks ago went on TCG Player and bought about 800 of these Stellar Crown booster boxes at what looks like a price of about $185. Now it's gone up to $205 right now. Obviously, that group of people realized that the supply and demand here in the Scarlet and Violet era is way out of whack, so they probably thought this was a great opportunity to buy some of these and either immediately sell them or hold on to them. But you can see a very aggressive purchase not long ago, and even after that, a lot of times we'll see the price spike when you see a big buy like that and kind of settle down or come down a little bit after that, but the price is continuing to go up. I think these sealed products in the Scarlet and Violet era are just, they're incredible. It's wild. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in all of my time collecting Pokemon. So it wasn't just Stellar Crown. It was also Paradox Rift, which again, I mean, if you were to stack rank the 10 different sets in the Scarlet and Violet era that have booster boxes, you know, Paradox Rift and Stellar Crown certainly wouldn't be in the top 5 or 6 as far as I'm concerned. And so here you are, you still have these products which are going for over MSRP. This one's all the way up at $186, and they're in high demand and low supply on the TCG Player website, which in my mind typically means, you know, they're going to continue to do really well. And again, same example here that we saw on the previous one. This buyout happened a little bit earlier, and it wasn't quite as, you know, the magnitude wasn't as large. This was about 350 booster boxes, which were purchased, you know, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And then, you know, you see the price again, it spiked up, but then the price has kind of leveled off. But then over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the price really start to take off. And it's a sub $200 Scarlet and Violet booster box, and as wild as this is to say, I mean, there aren't many Scarlet and Violet booster boxes that are sub $200, so I guarantee you that's one of the big reasons people are picking this up. It's just crazy what's going on in the space right now. And then the next card we're talking about right here, oh my gosh, what an adorable card from the illustration contest of 2024. This is the sleepy, yawning Pikachu right here. Again, you don't have a whole lot of oomph and pizzazz behind it, but hey, it's a stamped Pikachu card. The artwork is absolutely awesome. It's going for $13.15 right now, although I did a little research right before I shot this video. You can actually get the pack. So these come in foiled, or excuse me, sealed packs, and there's 3 different cards in them, right? And you can get the pack with all 3 sealed for like $17, $18, all the way up to $20 if, you know, just in case those lower price ones are, but the net is you can get this sealed for under $20 right now. And, you know, is this thing gonna 10x? Is this gonna be a $150 card long into the future? And if you buy 100 of them now, you're gonna make thousands of dollars in the future? You know, probably not. But is it a card that has the opportunity to grow? Is the fact that you can get it in the sealed pack now for under $20 super attractive? I think so. It's a Pikachu, for goodness sakes, and it's so adorable. So there's a whole lot worse you can do with $13.15, or if you want the whole sealed pack with less than 20 bucks. So super cool card, and I love seeing all the attention it's getting on TCG Player. And then the final card on the list, and I thought this was, you know, really, I don't know, really, it's just interesting how it all ties together, because earlier I had talked to you about how 3-pack blisters have a very strong track record of performance. Over the last 12 years, 3-pack blisters have been some of the very best sealed products you can get in terms of price appreciation over time. And this Sylveon promo right here comes from the Tech Deck sticker collection, which by any other name is a 3-pack blister, okay? So again, what more do you need? It's coming from Prismatic Evolutions, which is amazing. Outside of Umbreon, the Sylveon card is the second highest price card in there. Obviously, this isn't it. It's a promo card, but that just goes to show you the popularity of Sylveon. We've talked about how 3-pack blisters perform really well over time. This card is coming in at $2.62, a sub $3 card right here. We know that gem rates in those things are incredibly low because the packaging sucks and they kind of slam these promo cards in there. So it's a stunning card, wildly popular Pokemon, incredibly popular set, an incredibly popular sealed product. So it checks almost every box you could possibly imagine. Would I like the artwork and for it to be a little more shiny and special? Absolutely, but it's sub $3. It doesn't get much better than this. So that's it. That's all the cards and sealed product that were on the list. Again, this comes out every 2 weeks. I'm going to continue to do this for a little while. If you guys enjoy it, I'll be able to see by the views and the likes and the comments down below, and I will continue to do it because I think this information is going to be really, really relevant. So I hope you had a ton of fun. I hope you found value in it. And if you did, hit that subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. And the most important thing, as always, is I hope you have an epic rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye.